Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're really going to swing the hammer, so to speak, on a topic that I know a lot of you are interested in, house flipping.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot one.
We're taking a deep dive into an episode of the Real Estate Riches podcast to give you all the insider tips. Are those the guys that always say location, location, location?
That's the one.
Yeah, I knew that sounded familiar. Anyway, before we get too far, we should probably actually define what house flipping is, right?
Right. So basically, you're taking a property that needs, some work, sprucing it up, and then selling it for a profit.
Sounds simple enough, but I'm guessing there's more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely. The real estate riches folks really emphasize that it's not just about giving a place a fresh coat of paint and then bam, instant cash. It's way more strategic. You really have to know what you're doing.
Okay, so what kind of strategies are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, they made it clear that this is not your grandma's buy and hold real estate strategy.
So it's more fast-paced.
Exactly. Much faster. And with that speed comes, some inherent risks, but also the potential rewards can be huge.
So higher risk, higher reward. I like it. But seriously, where do you even begin with finding these potential house-flipping gems?
You know what they say, right? Location, location, location. It can make or break a deal.
So even if I stumble upon this super cheap fixer-upper, but it's in, the middle of nowhere, that might not be the best move.
It's definitely a gamble. Real estate riches really stressed focusing on properties that are, underpriced, maybe a little distressed, but in a good area. And they kept talking about this good bones thing. Remember that?
Yeah, good bones. Sounds kind of funny when you say it out loud, though, doesn't it?
Right. But in the house flipping world, good bones means the structure is sound. Maybe it just needs cosmetic work, so you're not having to completely rebuild from the ground up.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Focus on the potential. So I'm out there, I'm driving around, I'm looking for sale signs. I think I found a place with those elusive good bones. How do I know if I'm getting a good deal? Real Estate Riches made a big deal about the numbers.
They did. Crunching those numbers is crucial. They called it, get this, analyzing the deal.
Sounds official. Okay, so let's talk about this analysis. What am I analyzing exactly? Break it down for me.
So basically, you got to make sure the numbers add up, right? Like Real Estate Riches, they were really big on this thing called the 70% rule. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, vaguely, I think so. Refresh my memory, though, just in case.
Okay, so basically, it means you shouldn't be paying more than 70% of what the property is going to be worth after you've fixed it up, minus however much you think the renovations are going to cost. Like, imagine that vintage car we talked about earlier, right? You've got to figure out how much you're willing to spend to fix it up so that you can still sell it for a profit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they actually gave a really good example on the podcast. Let's say you're looking at a place, and after you fix it up, it'll be worth like $300,000.
Okay.
But then you got to factor in, let's say, around $30,000 for all the renovations, right? So using that 70% rule, you wouldn't want to pay more than $189,000 for the property itself.
Okay, so that difference between the 70% and what you're actually paying, that's like your wiggle room.
Exactly. It's your safety net. Because, things happen, right? You find a leaky pipe you didn't know about, or the floors need more work than you thought. Those costs can add up.
Oh, for sure. There are always surprises. So what if the numbers just aren't there? What if I think a place has tons of potential, but the numbers just don't add up with that 70% rule? What do I do?
Honestly, walk away. Seriously, sometimes the best deals are the ones you don't do. There's always going to be another property.
Okay, that's good advice. It's good to be reminded of that, because it's easy to get emotionally attached to a place, Speaking of attachments, let's talk money, honey. They talk about hard money loans on real estate riches. Those seem kind of intense, right?
Yeah, a little bit. They're kind of like the express lane at the grocery store, You're going to get in and out faster, but you're definitely going to pay extra for that convenience.
So basically, higher interest rates, but quicker access to the cash.
Exactly. And in the fast-paced world of house flipping, time really is money. The sooner you can get those renovations done and get that house back on the market, the less you're paying in interest and all those carrying costs.
It's like that cooking competition show. They only have a certain amount of time to plate their dishes.
Yeah. Exactly. Every second counts. So it's all about, weighing those interest rates against the speed of getting the project done.
Okay, so I've got the financing figured out. I'm staring at this fixer-upper. I've got my tool belt ready. Where do I even begin?
All right, so here's where the real estate riches advice really comes in handy. Prioritize. Focus on the renovations that are going to give you the most bang for your buck.
Okay, so not installing a pizza oven in every room. Got it. But seriously, give me some examples. What are some things that are definitely worth investing in?
Think about it this way. What do buyers in this specific market want? Are they looking for a state-of-the-art home gym or a gorgeous updated kitchen? Chances are they're going to go for the kitchen. Kitchens and bathrooms usually offer the best return on investment.
It's all about those buyers, right? Giving them what they want.
Hmm.
Oh, speaking of making a good impression, I remember Real Estate Riches talked about curb appeal too,
Oh
right?
yeah, first impressions are everything. You want those buyers to be impressed before they even step inside?
We were talking like a fresh coat of paint,
Yeah.
maybe some landscaping, just making it look really inviting.
You got it. You're selling a lifestyle,
Okay.
right? A feeling. Help those buyers imagine themselves living there. And that's where staging comes in.
Okay, so now I'm picturing those home staging shows where they bring in like a whole truckload of furniture and make it look like a magazine.
Right. And while those shows can be a bit much, they do highlight an important point. Staging matters. It's all about creating an emotional connection. You want them to walk in and just feel it.
So it's not about being deceptive. It's more about just presenting the property in its best light.
Exactly. You're highlighting its potential, not hiding flaws. And believe me, there's a big difference.
This has been super helpful. I had
Yeah.
no idea. There was so much that went into it. It's definitely more than just buy, renovate, sell.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing experience plays a big role too, right? Like, do even experienced house flippers make mistakes?
Oh, absolutely. This business is constantly evolving. What worked last year might not work this year. You got to stay flexible and be willing to learn as you go.
So even if you flipped like 100 houses, there's always something new to learn.
Always. That's actually one thing Real Estate Riches talked about, the importance of networking and beating relationships.
Hmm. Okay, so tell me more about that. What does networking look like in the world of house flipping? Okay, so tell me more about that. What does networking look like in the world of house flipping?
So it's about building relationships,
Hmm.
with other investors, contractors, real estate agents, everyone, really. Like, think of it as putting together your own little A-team.
Okay, I like
Yeah.
it. My own house flipping crew. So these are my people, my go-to experts, kind of like having a mentor on speed dial.
Exactly. Mentorship can be huge in this business. Remember that vintage car we talked about earlier? It's like having a really good mechanic, one who can give you advice, help you troubleshoot problems, prevent you from making those rookie mistakes.
Yeah, I'd much rather learn from someone else's mistakes than my own, especially when we were talking about like thousands of dollars in renovations.
Right, exactly. It's all about leveraging those shared experiences. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, it sounds like house flipping, it can be super exciting, potentially very profitable, but it's definitely not for the, faint of heart. You really have to be willing to put in the work, understand the market, and be okay with a few surprises along the way.
Yeah, for sure. It takes a certain personality type to handle all the curveballs that get thrown your way. But when you get it right, it can be incredibly rewarding.
I bet. So it's not just about making money, it's about having a passion for the whole process, right?
Absolutely. The design aspect, the problem solving, the thrill of the hunt.
I'm getting that.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been amazing. I mean, we went from basic definitions to like dissecting deals and talking about, everything from good bones to the power of networking.
Don't forget curb appeal.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Can't forget about making it pretty. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's so much that goes into it.
It all matters.
Well, this has been an awesome deep dive into the wild world of house flipping. So for those of you out there thinking about taking the plunge, just remember, information is power. So do your research, find yourself a good mentor, and hey, maybe one day we'll be featuring your amazing house flip on the deep dive. Until then, happy flipping, everyone.